I'm starting to like the idea of maybe doing front lever training on a daily basis. Now, the reason why I mention this is that I feel as though with nearly most calisthenics athletes that I've talked to, or at least have seen, they typically take skill training to a very different and extensive manner in comparison to typical hypertrophy and like bodybuilding work. Now, the reason why I consider this is that often when the individual has a background in like weights and traditional or like conventional programming, it often seems to have a hard time to reconcile the disparity between calisthenics skills versus bodybuilding hypertrophy work. There's a clear difference between these two types of disciplines, and you need to acknowledge this. And I guess my journey really has just been trying to find an overlap between those two, so it's easier for people to transition and thus better, I guess, like better find convenience in training with the skills. I really love the idea of finding a way to methodically approach skill training because of how inconsistent and unusual skill training can be. It just seems so unorthodox and requires a constant demand of like neurological adaptation and maybe even just daily training at this point. Now, again, going back at the high frequency demand that the front lever may potentially hold, I believe my problem as of now is I don't think I lack the muscle strength or the unspecific general strength that is like demanded for the front lever. I feel as though I hit the requirements for maybe like a shuttle front lever, but it's merely just me trying to adapt and acknowledge the neurological understanding of the front lever, and that is what is truly the inhibitor of my training. What's leading to me not really progressing, or at least like not seeing definitive results in the front lever, is because I still don't have that strong understanding, or maybe like I haven't trained my lats in the specific position and stretch that is technically demanded for the front lever. And because of this, it may be more appropriate to do a much higher frequency, maybe like 3 to 4 times training per week of front lever. And I've actually considered extrapolating this to planche. I've done this before, and I actually I don't know, I injured myself, and I believe that at the time I had a very poor understanding of training, variety, and exercises that are required to ensure stimulus change. But maybe now with a fresher mindset, it might be possible. Keep in mind, I am going to keep my planche training 3 times a week. I have a specific training scheme that I want to implement and see how well I go with. But for the front lever, I want to be a bit more versatile. Maybe I can, bring about greater change in frequency. The main reason why I didn't change this for the past few weeks or like the past few sessions was because most of my front lever training, I was not used to that experience and the stimulus. I was experiencing crazy DOMs and my lats were on fire every single session. I thought it got to the point where it affected my other trainings because of how much my lats were tired. But for the recent few sessions, I've actually feel like I've adapted and gotten used to that volume demand, or at least the technicalities of that that neuropaths of like what the lat stimulation is like. I think I've gotten used to it, and now like my training is more so not revolving around volume, rather it's more technicalities and specificity. So there's nothing really stopping me from ensuring or like putting in more specific training every single day, whether it be only like 20 minutes or so, with like consistent warming up and stuff. I think it may be possible to ramp up my frequency to maybe like 4 to 5 times. This seems very promising, and like I'm starting to really acknowledge the fact that perhaps higher frequency is of greater demand at the earlier stages of my front lever training. So yeah, that's basically it, and I'll finish it off here.